Coach Bud. First question. So you talked about in Media Day how important you believe that the international basketball is so good for NBA players. How do you think that the Olympic experience is going to be for KD and Booker as they contribute for the Suns this year?
Yeah, I mean, I think those guys having the opportunity, first of all, to play with great teammates on a great team, USA basketball. It's just such a unique and special group. It looked like they were super connected, super together, played the right way, had to compete, had close games. Really, at the end of the day, they were doing anything they could to win a gold medal, and that's how we want to play. We want to do whatever it takes to win games, to be our best. So I think it was just a perfect build-up to kind of the identity, the culture we're trying to have here. USA basketball was great. Kevin and Devin were great with USA basketball, and now we need the same from us.
Coach Devin just talked about the maturity that he's seen so far out of the rookies and just their learning curve. For you, what have you seen from them in particular?
Yeah, I mean, I do think they are mature. For a first round, a second round draft pick. Both guys played a decent or a lot of college basketball, and so I think they're bringing that experience and that maturity to us. But there's a mindset. I think these guys want to find a way to help us. They want to find a way to contribute. They want to find a way to be their best player, the best they can be. And they're just laser focused on all those things. So it's been great to watch them work and grow and develop.
Coach, when you look at the Nurkic just here, like she said, and he said the message that he gave right away was talk is cheap. He said that was the message you gave. Has that always been your MO as a coach?
Yeah, I think so. I learned it somewhere a long time ago, and it's kind of been hammered into me. So I probably don't love doing these scrums. All this, this talk and the interviews and the questions, it really doesn't matter. It's cheap. I know it's important to you guys, but for our players to have a mindset that talk is cheap, that it's really what we go out and do each day, what we do in practice, what we do in the games, talking about things and making declarations or saying this and that. It really is kind of meaningless.
Dirk talked about his visit, or your visit, to go see him and how you got to see the sites a little bit. What did you enjoy the most about the trip?
Well, I'll start with just hanging out with Nurk and Amina and some of their friends, and probably just being on the water, the Dalmatian coast and Croatia, and summer there is just special. Eating meals with them, being on a boat, Split, and there's a lot of history for basketball, being in that gym and seeing the pictures of some of the legendary guys that played at Split, Tony Kukoc, and being in that gym, and then spending time in VAR, and it was a killer trip. I'm gonna tell Nurk I might be coming back every summer.
To go off the talk is cheap mantra, to show your players like that, to make that type of trip. Nurk was joking that guys tell him all the time, "Oh, I'll go out there and see you," and then for you to actually go, just what that means to you as a coach, to show the players that you care like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's, I guess, if you're going to say things like that, or, talk is cheap, or, you talk about building relationships and showing people and players that you care about them, there's things that you have to do that. It can't just be talk. And so if that's what I have to do to show my care, I'm in for showing Nurk I care about him.
Coach, when you look at just tomorrow, Devin was saying he was looking forward to playing tomorrow. Where are the other guys as far as that goes?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. How everybody reacts to today. See how Nurk feels tomorrow. Same with Grayson. But I think we can say pretty confidently that Devin, is going to play and feels good, and everybody else will just kind of see how they're feeling.
With Book, we've heard from a lot of people that he's been taking on some of his defensive assignments. How important is that for one of your star players to be willing to do that?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think Book is very capable of defending at a high level, and he has a great pride. I think those guys that have that kind of pride and toughness can be good defenders, and so it really started with USA basketball, that was for us a great example of what he can be and what he can do, and I'm sure he's going to hear from me, from his teammates, that's what we want, that's what we expect, and I think he's in a good place to do that, and at the same time know that our team is different and what he has to do for us is different, and being respectful of the load that he carries, but at the same time demanding of all of them to be great defenders. And I think Devin's in a good place to do that.
Coach, you've coached some great defenses in the past in Milwaukee and in Atlanta. Are you trying to bring some of those schemes here?
I didn't hear the very beginning. What was it? The scheme?
Some great defenses.
Oh, great defenses. Yeah, no, I would say, you know, credit to those players in Atlanta, Milwaukee. It's always about the players. But scheme-wise, there are some things that we probably just are kind of fundamental core beliefs. You know, no matter where I'm coaching, we're probably going to do. And then you got to try and find ways that it fits your personnel. So I think there'll be, you know, a decent amount or a lot that is similar. And then we got to figure out what's best for our group and for our players to be their best defensively.
Like when you talk about the three-point numbers, do you view it as kind of a good or a bad thing for basketball, for the sport, or just necessary to keep up at this point?
No, I'm way more positive. I would say it's a good thing. I think our sport's in a great place. I think the skill and the talent of our players is in a great place. It's to me sometimes mind-boggling what our guys can do. And I'm assuming if I'm a fan and I'm watching it at home, I think that's what entertainment is when you're just kind of put in shock or awe by what, you know, people can do, whether it's singing or acting or whatever it is. And so I think the range and the skill and how these guys play, and I think it creates more space to then be athletic and dynamic going to the basket. And, you know, I may be to one end of that spectrum, but like, I think it's beautiful and great for our sport. And I respect people that maybe think opposite, but I'm pretty far to what our players are doing and the range and the skill. I couldn't be happier with it, to be honest with you.
How much do you think that change has to just do with the shooting flexibility of bigs especially? Like you look at what you could do with Nurk this year, but also some of the guys like Wembanyama and Holmgren coming into the league too.
Yeah, I think that's probably watching. I mean, I think it's evolved in a few different ways, but I would say that, you know, Robert Horry is my example of a guy that changed the game and won a lot of championships. And when you have a four-man that can step out and start shooting and making threes, and so the evolution of four men and then five men and, you know, bigs that can shoot, I think that was a big moment in the sport. And then, you know, the guards and obviously Steph and Kevin and, you know, these guys have changed the range and how people can shoot threes and the efficiency and everything. So I think there's been a lot of, you know, I think exciting, you know, the evolution of the three-point shot and how coaches and players use it. And yeah, so now Holmgren and Wembanyama and, you know, hopefully Nurk for us. And, you know, I think it's a good thing.
Got a pretty good four-man to do it for you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.
You asked Coach Barry yet if he can dunk still?
Who?
Coach Barry?
Could he ever?
Oh,
Dunk contest.
you won the dunk contest. Are you kidding me? Oh, you were doing the thing. Come on, man. Come on. I had the Clippers poster and everything.
Uh-huh.
Devin, obviously, just a couple of games with the sore ankle. How's it feeling now? Coach said you thought you looked great yesterday.
Yeah, it feels fine. 100%.
Curious, just when you're going through that, knowing, okay, you could play if it was say, a regular season game or a playoff game, how did you manage that as far as, okay, they want you to chill a little bit?
I mean, it's year 10 now, you know, so just being through it and just understand you want to be healthy at the start of the season. So, you know, taking extra care of it and get it to 110%.
Looking at you guys, you got to think average of 45 threes attempts. You had told me in the first preseason game you thought you guys left some on the table. Is 40 plus a reasonable number for you guys to shoot for?
I mean, I like it. I mean, obviously you got to take what the defense gives you, but, you know, even attempting a three-point shot, not even making it, you know, stretches out defenses and, you know, opens up better looks throughout the game. But we have a lot of sharp shooters on this team too, so, you know, the volume should be up.
We talked to you at training camp. You had mentioned leadership by example, vocal leadership. Year 10 now. How do you feel that you've grown into that role as a leader?
Really good. I mean, you'd have to ask, you know, my teammates and coaching staffs. You know, they could probably give you a better assessment. But, you know, I've developed a lot of relationships and, you know, got to know a lot of guys and, you know, just try to give my advice, my little 2 cents on, you know, what I've seen and what I've done.
Hey, Brad, he talked a lot about at Media Day wanting to get back to being Brad. Compared to last year when his role was kind of changing all over the place, how do you think that
I mean, I think he just needed to be on the court. You know, I think the times that he played super well. He played hard, and you know, he was super competitive. So, you know, I think that's Brad just being hard on himself. But you know, he's the type of guy that I want to go to war with any day.
What's impressed you most about Ryan Day this season?
I mean, they just don't carry themselves as rookies. You know, I'm talking about them as a whole right now, but Ryan specifically just, you know, knowing players' tendencies already, competing at the highest level. You know, the competition part is probably my favorite. He's young, he's youthful, he has a lot of energy, and he wants to compete.
Does he guard you a lot in practice?
A little bit. You know, we haven't scrimmaged too much outside of training camp.
I was just going to ask what makes him a good defender.
He just has intangibles. You know, first he has the athleticism, and then, like I just said, knowing players' tendencies already. You know, that took me 2-3 years into understanding what certain players want to do, and you know, them guys being vocal also too, coming in and you know, knowing which way guys like to go and things of that sort shows, you know, maturity.
When you saw Ryan this summer and in the preseason how he's been shooting the ball, does it surprise you to hear that Virginia he wasn't much of a shooter at all, just with the way he's been shooting it?
I mean, you know, he only shot one attempt a game. I think college is, you know, a tough assessment to judge a shooter. I usually look at form and mechanics, and everything looks there. You know, so it's not surprising me. Hopefully he can keep it up, and you know how it is rookie year. You know, it's a long season, so you know, not getting discouraged if you miss a few. We need him shooting those shots.
When you watch young players come in like him, where their three-point shot is a big focus point for them, how much of it is mindset and just confidence with the shot?
Yeah, it's just confidence and, you know, having the people around you that are encouraging it. Like I said, make or miss. You know, you might not shoot 50% from three the whole season, but, you know, if you have those stretches where you miss, you have to keep shooting if you're open. I don't know what more is comparing to, but, you know, every season in, you know, I feel grateful for the opportunity. So, you know, it's a fresh start. It's a clean slate. We have a lot to prove with a lot of expectation. With, you know, a lot of guys have won before, so, you know, the gym's popping.
Hey, Booker, so looking back at your Olympic experience with Kevin Durant, of course you've had a couple summits with KD now, but what did you take away from your experience with KD in the Olympics, and how are you going to carry that over into the season?
Like you said, you know, me and Kay have a relationship, so it was just fun to do that and represent a country beside a really good friend of mine. So I'm always learning though. You know, I know what it is with him. He's a hooper through and through. And you can learn from him just by watching him day to day. And, you know, we all have the privilege in this gym to watch one of the best basketball players to ever play work. Super important. You know, I think that was a hole from last season that we have full now. I mean, he's just a competitor. He does everything to win. You know, he's the type of guy you want to be on the court with. And like you said, you know, I've been alongside him and watching him play since we were in 6th, 7th grade. So, you know, I know what he's capable of.
How much is having a guy like that going to help you, Brad, be able to be off-ball attack? You did that last year, obviously, but maybe a little bit more.
I think it'll make us see easier coverages, getting the ball on time and target in the right spots, pushing the pace, getting out in transition more, and not having the responsibility to make the play most of the time. So it's easier to catch people in closeouts and off the ball rather than the whole defense loading up on you. So, and you can't leave them open.
Look, obviously the three-point attempt numbers around the league have been going up for quite a while now, not a new thing. How do you view it for the sport in general?
I mean, it's evolution. You know, people are, you know, they're shooting the skin off the ball. You know, I think you can credit Steph. You know, you can credit those Warriors teams for, you know, literally changing the game forever. So, like I said earlier, even if you make the shot or miss it, you know, I think it's a good shot to expand defenses and, you know, open up driving lanes. But, you know, you don't want to live and die by it. So it's finding the right balance.
But the core criticism of this team has just been the lack of size and how you guys will match up defensively. But how do you think guys like you and Brad and Tyus and Kevin will take on that challenge, if you want to phrase it as that?
I think, we'll be fine with that. Just holding each other accountable. If teams have the size advantage, we'll beat them with speed. Kind of what we just said about the three-pointers. I don't know how many teams are going to just throw it into the post and try to expose the matchup. There's probably 4 or 5 guys in the league that are doing that. So we'll see.
And you've always been a confident rebounder over the course of your career, right? That's something you get back to.
Yeah, it's just physicality. Even if you don't get the rebound, make sure your guy doesn't.
You looking to play tomorrow? Last two?
Huh?
You looking to play tomorrow?
Yeah, I am.
Monte was saying that you've been embracing those defensive challenges. Is that kind of a point of emphasis for you this year?
I've been doing that.
Thank you both. What's up, Jusuf?
Yeah, it's tight. A little tight.
Season started. The cameras.
What's it feel like for you not being able to do what you do? And not being able to play.
Just one of those moves, man. You do and you regret. You forget it like quick, and it's nothing serious. But you can't really be out there. It's hard, but I'm glad everything turned out the way it should. But nothing serious. So I'm happy the way it ended.
How did it happen?
Try to steal the ball, and I get a part of the ball out of player grab with 2 and just take it out. So it's just, I guess, free play, but I was worried more that it could be like worse, but ended up pretty well.
Who were you trying to strip?
No, it was just an open court,
Okay.
and I read the Brad's gonna pass it, but then it was a little shorter than I thought.
Coach said yesterday. So Coach said yesterday no contact yet for you, but what are the next steps for you getting back?
Playing basketball. I feel good just working in condition through the whole process. It's been really, I feel like when you're injured and rehab, it's harder to do when playing. So I'm really tired working, man. I'm just ready out there to hoop. So I've been on the sideline a little more last, few days, and it's been phenomenal competing, just learning. I think Coach Bud challenged everybody, personally, collectively, like whole team, hold accountable everybody, each person. So it's been really great atmosphere so far.
Would you agree with the assessment that this is the type of injury that last year in the regular season you probably would have just played through, but since it was preseason, just taking that extra time to heal?
I don't know, man. When it's like something you have to do, you have to do. But this is more like it is preseason, but also looking the longer run. So I think the doctors was cautioned in a way to let it heal in the process of swelling and everything. So he did a great job as rehab. So I'm happy where we are.
Where do you notice it the most in basketball? Is it just catching passes? Is it swiping at the ball?
It's just going back, to play contact. That's the biggest thing. Hitting, and it's not even about 1 and 0. It doesn't bother. It's just like when you go out there, when players see the mark, they go after mark. So.
In your absence, Oso has gotten a lot of opportunity in the preseason. What have you seen from him, and how he's picking up the NBA game?
I love it. Just like I said, just enjoy the ride, and this is NBA. You never know what's opportunity when it come, present. I think great addition. Both rookies doing great. Coach loved the energy, what they bring to our team, and we love it as a team. Just youngs, hooping out there preseason like a last game. So it's good. It's good to have it now for sure.
Are you playing the ball?
I don't know. Let's see when I wake up, man. See when I wake up. I wanted to. So.
Have they been able to give you a timeline with that type of injury on how long it takes, or is it just more of the field swelling going down and that's it for you?
I think kind of a little between, like both. You have to be, I guess, clear from the doctor, but also how much pain you have or toleration. So I don't think we're far away. If it's opening night, I definitely play, like no question. But we'll see. What coach wants, what we arrange together. But we'll see. I hope to play. So.
It's 46 threes a game for you right now in the preseason. I don't know if the number's going to be that high in the regular season, but what does it do for the offense from what you've seen from the bench to have that many threes right now?
I think it's definitely refreshing for y'all, like from bottom to the top, no middle. So I think it's great. I was surprised, in preseason how much we're getting on. It's surprising the way we don't play all the time starters. But when we all out there, I think the number going to be just higher, so, which is crazy to think about it. But the energy and everybody sharing, everybody shooting. So I think everybody happier when they touch the ball.
You talked a lot about you building chemistry with KD on some of those back doors, but Brad is also a very active cutter. What makes him special?
I think his speed is unique, like his movement, left, right, like stop and go. I don't think there's a player in the league like that. Like especially even youngers when they come in, like I don't see the breaks like that. Like I think the skates, whatever you want to call it. But we work on. I think the spacing the Bud brought to our team will be huge. Just open fives, like spread the floor, and I think they're gonna have much more room.
KD is closing in on 30,000 career points. Is that a number that's kind of hard to wrap your mind
Already?
around?
Damn, man. Like the preseason, that should not count, right?
That's not count.
All right. Yeah, I mean, he's just one of those greats, man. And for me, the more I spend time here and with him, and knowing what I know now, it completely changed the whole picture about him as a person and as a player. I already knew it, but what he's doing at his age, and not even about age, I feel like it's just the injury he had and come back and still competing at the highest level. I think sometimes you're looking on the floor and he be chasing. I'm like, who the hell is chasing like that? And this is KD, like full court. So his love for the game is something else, man. And so happy for him, man. I'm glad to be a part of that a little bit.
How has he changed your just perception of him as a person, just being?
Sorry. So I feel like media-wise, when I was in Portland for 8 years, you hear all these negativity most of the time. So what he do, how he treat, or whatever might be, and you come and see that there is literally 0% what I was hearing or what I was reading and what people was making, how he was about business or people in the organization. So that was really the biggest surprise. Similar something happened to Melo to me when he arrived in Portland. So not sure why and all we care about negativity during everything, but I think he's a great, great human being and love him, his teammate.
How does the addition of Tyus and Monte help you and maybe not change your offensive role, but put you in the spots you're more used to?
Yeah, I don't know how the hell we did that. We all, the Matt, the Genius, and Josh and James, what they've been, I think nowhere else give us a chance to get a point guards like that in off season. Great addition. Looking forward, I think that's going to be pressure release for all of us, especially down the, like y'all been saying whole year about turnovers last year. So I think we're going to be better at that, like less turnovers, more shots, and I think that translates already to preseason. But hopefully, we got so much better than I don't even remember last year. So.
When you said this offseason that you went to visit with Croatia, how was that? How did that trip?
That was amazing. Like I didn't know Bud. I mean, I know playing against him, but I didn't know him personally. Talked to Grayson whole summer about Bud, and he said great things about it. Then after he, visit me and we go over kind of what he want to do and the way he see how I fit to this team. I didn't doubt, but also it's NBA. People say a lot of things that you want to hear. And when I came to the camp, he was all about his words. I think sometimes, he believed from day one, he said that talk is cheap. And I think he really put everything on the floor for us. And, accountability was something that I was big on. And he stand for those words. So no matter who it is, starters, bench, and whoever, like he really holds people accountable. And I think that's the number one thing I noticed. Difference from any coach in my career. I have a lot of them. And, I was really amazed that he got over his family and spent a few days with me. And I'm happy. Like, I'm just happy that he, have believed in me that I can do a lot of things differently and being part of the office more than I used to be.
When you look at you really coming, or did you have to are you really coming to
physically or something like that? Or
Who?
surprised that he showed up?
No, I wasn't surprised, but also people, a lot of times my teammate be saying, "Oh, I'm coming," like, you know, and then when they come and be like, "Oh, wow, this is really great, amazing spots and food." So sometimes I'll be like, "All right," I mean, we invite people to invite, we just don't say it. Like, if you said come, I will come. Like, I don't, you know, just for no reason be, you know, saying. So sometimes I be showing up at Dame house, no invitation too. Like, I'm just showing up and I'm here. So I think for me it was big encouragement in a relationship, the way, you know, he's about his, you know, coaching and coaches around. So it was great to see.
Whether it was Bud that summer or someone else in previous year, what was like one or two things you wanted to show them around town and then get them accustomed to the way?
I think you should ask him how he was in the trip. I think I would want to hear that too. So I think we did a lot of, my wife and I did a lot of things for him and his family, try to show him, but also Bud is one of those people who want to be every day in different spots. So it's hard to, you know, put everything in a few days, but I think we did a solid job.
Look at yourself, you lost the season to injury. What's it like seeing Damian Lee come back?
I mean, it's amazing seeing him grind, you know, all the good and bad days, you know, because we can see it. And I think right now he's too excited to play and sometimes rushing shots and too. So we try to kind of help him out to slow a little bit down, shoot his shot, because he's a great shooter. He's going to be a great addition to our bench and team. But you know, it's a hell of a season to be, you know, off the floor just working and no one see that. But I know how that feels, so I told him just it's over, you know. Luckily you live here, so there's not a lot of rain days, but sunny every day. So you should be more positive than negative. So I think he survived that, and he's out there now. So I'm happy for him for sure.
Thank you, Nurkic. Good to see you back.
Thank you guys, appreciate it.